Hey guys, in the last tutorial I showed you how you can quick and easily insert a chart into your Google Sheet. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can quick and easily put a new line or row of data into your spreadsheet and maintain functionality. And this is important because if you have data that you've put in but you've realized after the fact that you've made one mistake, you don't want to have to go back and redo all of the data and redo all the formulas that you've made in your spreadsheet just to put one line of data in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an example. And I'm going to say that, let's say we missed a day, although it doesn't really make sense because those are the 5 days of the week. Let's just say we missed a day, and on that day we did record some pizzas that we made, but we forgot to put the data in. So how will we do that? A lot of new users to Excel or Google Sheets might be inclined to do something like this. We'd just grab it, we'd highlight it with the left click and drag, and then just maybe pull it down or get it out of the way or move it over here, and who knows what they do. And you can see here that what's happened is the chart editor hasn't picked up the data because we've moved it outside the range. You'll remember in the last tutorial that when we created this chart, we highlighted a range for it to collect its data from, and that was a range like that. And included in that was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But as you can see, what we've done is we've moved the data outside the range which the chart editor collects it from. If only there was a way where we could possibly insert a new day and put in a new number of pizzas and the chart automatically picks it up. And we can do that. And this is how it's done. We find the row, and you can see the number of the rows here. We find the row where we want to insert a new line of data. So let's say we wanted to insert a new day between Tuesday and Wednesday. What we do is we click on a cell, either one of them, and with the left click, and then we right click it, and it brings up all these nifty little features and things that we can do to that row. So let's say we want to insert one above, because we want to insert a row above Wednesday but below Tuesday. So we say above. And you'll see there it's created a whole new row. What I can do is let's just make up a day. Let's call it, say, X day. So X day falls between Tuesday and Wednesday. You'll see what happens to this chart when we do this. I'll press enter, and you can see it's automatically entered a new day, because the range what we had in the previous tutorial was that. But by inserting a new row, it's now extended one down to Friday. Because we have told the spreadsheet that we want to insert a new row where data was already found, the chart editor has realized what we've done and adjusted its range to pick up that. So let's just say we have on that particular day, X day, we only made 4 pizzas. You can see the chart again has updated. It knows that the range has gone from this, and I'm just highlighting, left clicking and highlighting, to this. And it's included the extra day. If we got rid of this, you can see the chart automatically updates. If we did what we did earlier on and just simply clicked and dragged the data out some way, you'd see it doesn't work, because the chart is, remember, in spreadsheeting, it's all about a reference to a cell, and this chart is referencing a particular group of cells. If we don't make that reference, and if we move the data outside the referenced area, then it's not going to pick it up. So we'll keep that still in there, we'll put that back in, just like that. And all I do there was just highlight, left click and drag to highlight it, and then left click again to move it wherever I want it. So back to here, X day. And that was 4. Now let's say we have something new. Let's say, I'm going to give you another example. Let's just say we have test scores. And we have a test score of, say, 4 different people. I take the test, John takes the test, Sarah takes the test, and let's say Michael takes the test. And we all get a test score out of 10. Let's say I get 6, John gets 7, Sarah gets 8, and Michael gets 9. And that's a score out of 10. You can see I just put the numbers in, I just typed them in and pressed enter, and then moved down to the next one, typed it in, pressed enter, all the way to the bottom. And let's say in this cell we want the average test score. So I'm just going to type in average here, just with the keyboard, average. And then in this cell, you'll remember from a previous tutorial that we can calculate the average using the function. And the function is, remember, to execute a function, all we have to do is find the cell that we want to put the function in, press equal, and then we type the function in, which is, in this case, we want to use the average function, open the brackets to use it, and then we reference the cells that we want to find. And in this case, I'm just going to highlight, just get that off highlight. I'm going to reference these cells here. And close the brackets, and that should, once I press enter, it should calculate the average. And there you have it, there's the average. We could go back and we could verify this, but I trust the spreadsheet. And in fact, the average would be 7.5. Now let's just say, and this is a similar example to above, let's just say we had another student that we forgot to record. Let's say I'm not a very good teacher and I forgot about one of my students. I want to insert their data into my spreadsheet. So how would we do that? In this case, we'd go to wherever we wanted to insert the data. Let's say I want to insert it below Sarah but above Michael. I could click on either one of these rows by using the side pane here, this little side thing here. And I could right click and say I want to insert it above Michael, so we'll put it there. And you see the whole new row is created. And what I want you to do is pay particular attention to the average cell here. Remember what that does. It calculates everything within this orange outline, this dotted outline here. It's calculating the average of all the numbers in there. And it's funny, isn't it? You can see that there's a blank cell here. Remember when we put the average function in, there wasn't a blank cell there. We've just inserted it. The average function, like the chart did over here for X day, when we inserted that row up here, it automatically knows that we've inserted a line or a row in the data. So let's see what it does. Let's make up a name. Let's say this is Stacy's result. Stacy was forgotten on the test. Let's say she got a perfect score, and presumably, being the teacher, I forgot it because it was so perfect. She got 10 out of 10. Watch what happens to the average cell. It automatically updates. And remember, we could have just, before we put in Stacy, we could have just dragged cells all over the place and then saw what happens. And you can see here now it's only got the average of these two cells, which is 9.5. But what we did is we inserted a new row because we didn't want to lose functionality. We still wanted to keep Owen and John and Sarah's data, their test scores, still in the spreadsheet. I'm just going to left click, drag, and then click on it again to drag the data back up. Anyway, that's how you can insert rows into your data while maintaining functionality. And I should mention that you can also do it with columns. It's absolutely no different. But instead of clicking on the left-hand side for a row, remember rows go horizontally, you just click on the column that you want at the top. So say we want this one, and we want to insert between A and B. We just click on one either side, and we right click and we go insert one to the left, please. Oops, sorry, I've jumped across. We click on B, and we right click, we go insert one to the left, and there you have it. Now there's a row between these two. So that's how you can insert data into your spreadsheet while maintaining functionality. That might not be much use to us until later tutorials when we have big data sets, but I encourage you to play around, put some random data in, and then insert some rows, insert some functions, and see what happens.